Adventure and fun, here we come. We are learning about amazing animals around the world, like pandas, elephants. We are going to learn some incredible things about elephants, sloths. Here are some baby sloths. Oh, and gorillas. You'll learn all about gorillas too. Okay, I can't handle the cuteness. I just can't. And of course, we have a couple of surprise animals we are going to learn about as well. You'll have to watch to the end to see what animals they are. First, let's learn about elephants. Ready? All right. What are elephants? Well, elephants are huge mammals that have a long trunk and big ears. Aw, look at this elephant taking a walk through a field. We mentioned that elephants are huge, and when we say they are huge, we are not kidding. In fact, African elephants are the largest land animals in the world, okay? And you might be wondering, just how big are African elephants? It's incredible. African elephants can get as tall as 13 feet and can weigh as many as 14,000 pounds. That is massive. So if anyone ever asks you what is the largest land animal in the world, you know what to tell them. The African elephant. How big can they get? As many as 13 feet tall and 14,000 pounds in weight. So elephants are massive and African elephants are so big, they are the largest land animals in the world. Okay, but where can you find elephants living in the wild? Do you know? Okay, why are we showing an elephant in a neighborhood? Okay, this is not the natural habitat of an elephant, okay? They don't live in neighborhoods. Where in the world can you find wild elephants in their natural habitats? All right, we can work with this, a world map. Now let's look at the world map to find out where elephants live in the wild. Well, elephants live in the wild in parts of Africa, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. Let's say those places again and make sure you look at where they are on the map. Elephants live in the wild in parts of Africa, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. This next fact is a fact you're going to want to share with someone, okay? Check this out. A group of elephants is called a parade. Isn't that a neat name for a group of elephants? A group of elephants is called a parade. Now, if you ever see a parade of elephants, you're probably going to see baby elephants in the parade. Do you happen to know what baby elephants are called? Yeah, baby elephants are called calves. Can you say that word? Calves. Baby elephants are called calves. Now we are going to talk about a very special part of an elephant's body called the trunk. The long trunk of an elephant is super helpful. Here you can see an elephant using its trunk to eat. That is how an elephant brings food to its mouth, using its trunk. An elephant couldn't survive without its trunk. You see, elephants use their trunks to bring food and water to their mouths. They also use their trunks to breathe and to smell. The trunk of an elephant not only brings food and water to an elephant's mouth, but it also functions as their nose. Elephants also use their trunks to give themselves baths and more. Elephant trunks are so important to the elephants. Speaking of baths, elephants give themselves something called a dust bath. It might seem strange to us, right? Why would an elephant give itself a bath with dirt? But dust baths are a great way for elephants to help their skin and to fight against nasty insects called parasites. Isn't that awesome? For an elephant, taking a dust bath is a smart thing to do, which shouldn't be surprising because elephants are incredibly smart. They are incredibly smart. In fact, elephants have a larger brain than any other land mammal. That's right. And their brain can get as big as 13 pounds. 13 pounds! Imagine a 13-pound brain! Wow! Elephants are so smart and their brains are so huge. That is why elephants are famous for their incredible memory. Elephants have an amazing memory. They can remember places, other elephants, things that happened to them. They can remember people. They have an amazing memory. Next time you have a test, you could think, wow, I wish that I was an elephant and was able to remember so much so easily, but as people, our memory isn't as good. We've got to work really hard for it, but elephants can remember incredibly well. Okay, it is time for our final elephant fact, and it has to do with what elephants eat, and the fact is this: elephants are herbivores. Now, what's a herbivore? Herbivores are animals that just eat plants. And that's what an elephant is. An elephant is a herbivore, an animal that just eats plants. They don't eat meat. Do you like to eat plants? Cool. Plants are tasty and healthy too. Awesome. Next, let's learn about pandas. The thumbnail of this video had a panda on it. This video opened with a panda. It's time we learn all about pandas. Pandas are bears that are easy to spot. They have huge black spots around the eyes, over their ears, their legs, and across their backs. These bears with black markings look really cool, don't they? So, you might be wondering where pandas are from. Pandas are from China. They still live in the wild in China, though there are pandas that are in captivity in other parts of the world. And this is interesting, because they live in China, it wasn't until 1869 that the United States and Europe found out about these amazing bears. Wow, imagine that. Pandas were like the best kept secret in the animal world for a long time. Let's learn even more facts about these special bears from China. First, let's look at what a panda eats. It might be surprising to you, literally 99% of a panda's diet consists of bamboo. That's right. They are carnivores, which means they're able to eat meat, but they just prefer bamboo, and they spend most of their day collecting bamboo, getting it ready, and eating it. When pandas are in captivity, they generally eat a lot of other foods. It can be difficult to supply pandas with the amount of bamboo they need when they are kept in other countries. But in the wild, pandas want their bamboo. Wow, this cartoon panda's really going to town on this bamboo. Next, we are going to learn about perhaps the cutest babies in the animal kingdom, panda babies. Panda babies are so cute, it can hurt your eyes. Not really, but almost. Comment below if you think panda babies are the cutest in the animal world. Panda babies, like the babies of other bears, are called cubs. That's right. And unlike the nice little cartoon right here, the father isn't involved in raising the cub. The mother alone raises the cub. We mentioned that the panda fathers go on and do their own thing. The reason they like to do that is because pandas are solitary creatures. They enjoy being alone. While there are times when a panda may be in a group, pandas usually prefer to be alone. Now, we need to warn you here, seriously. Get ready for the saddest fact we have ever shared. It is going to sound mean, but that isn't our fault. We aren't the ones that did this, okay? Alright, you have been warned, okay? Here it is. A group of pandas is called an embarrassment. Yes, a group of pandas is an embarrassment of pandas. No wonder pandas like to be alone. They don't want to be called an embarrassment. Some people don't like this term, so some people call a group of pandas a bamboo of pandas, but the name of a group of pandas actually is an embarrassment. There are actually people that are petitioning to change that, because that's just not a very nice way of saying a group of pandas. There has to be a better way, a nicer way to say group of pandas than using the word embarrassment. Okay, we're all good, right? Wow. So we learned that pandas like to be alone, and that when they are in a group, that group is called an embarrassment. And they should probably change that word because it's mean, but that's just what they're called. Alright, now we are going to talk about sleep. Ooh, that sounds fun. So here is our question. How much do pandas sleep? That's a good question. How much do you think? How much do pandas sleep? This might surprise you, but pandas only sleep about 10 hours a day. That means pandas sleep about the same amount as most kids do. That's right. You sleep about the same amount as a panda. That's pretty cool. Pandas are very busy collecting food, and eating can take up a lot of time. In their day, they can usually only fit in about 10 hours of sleep and rest. Wow, these truly are amazing animals. We love pandas and want to make sure we protect them. Pandas were once considered an endangered species. That was because their numbers got so low. As recently as the 1970s, there were only about 1,000 pandas living in the wild. That's it, just 1,000. Thankfully, in 2018, the number is about 1,900 pandas, so the numbers have been increasing. One of the biggest challenges for pandas is their habitat has been shrinking. As more and more land is developed, the land that pandas call home continues to get smaller and smaller. Remember, pandas like to have their space and enjoy being alone. But the land and forests they call home have decreased substantially. The good news is there are organizations that fight to protect not just the pandas, but the areas they call home. While pandas are no longer considered endangered, they are still considered something called a threatened species, which means we have to continue our efforts to protect and defend them. Okay, next we are learning about sloths. Get it? Because they move slowly? Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Sloths are medium-sized mammals that live in the trees. Yeah, they live in the trees. They're tree dwellers. That's where their home is. They're at home in the trees. Okay, so where in the world can you find these fascinating mammals that live in trees called sloths? If you wanted to see a sloth, where in the world would you have to go? You would have to go to Central and South America. That is where sloths live. Sloths live in Central and South America, living peaceful lives in the trees. That's pretty awesome. Here's where we need your help. What are sloths known for? Do you know? what is it about sloth that almost everyone seems to know about? What's the most famous thing about sloths? What are sloths known for? Yeah, sloths are known for being slow. Sloths move very, very slowly, which actually helps them out. It's very important that sloths move slowly. Because they are so slow, they save energy. The foods they eat don't give them a lot of energy, so it is very important for sloths to save as much energy as they can. The slow movement can also help them avoid being discovered by certain predators. That's pretty cool. If a sloth is discovered by a predator, the predator better watch out. That is because sloths have very sharp claws. Sloths are actually incredibly dangerous. Their claws can do a lot of damage. They move slow, but their claws do a great job of protecting the sloths. Okay, we get it. Sloths are slow. But just how slow are they? Well, catch this. The three-toed sloth is the slowest moving mammal in the world. It's true. The other main type of sloth, called the two-toed sloth, is also very slow, but as we mentioned, to sloths, it is an advantage being slow. Hey, did you notice the sloth baby in this picture? Yeah, right there. Oh my goodness. Little sloth baby. Another interesting thing about sloths is that sloths have a very low muscle mass, especially when you compare them to other mammals. They are really different from Muscle Man Ted. Wow, you love lifting weights, don't you, Ted? Here is a cool question. What do sloths eat? Well, all sloths eat leaves. Three-toed sloths only eat leaves, which to us might sound boring, but they make it work. Two-toed sloths can eat fruit, insects, and even lizards in addition to leaves. But one thing is for sure, they digest their food very slowly. But you might have already guessed that. They do everything slowly. Uh-oh, this sloth is on the ground. Here is our final fact about sloths. They have to be very careful when they are on the ground. Many sloths only go to the ground about once a week. That's it. It is when they are on the ground that they are most vulnerable and open to being attacked. But remember their claws? Sloths will definitely fight back. Very slowly, but they will fight back. Great. Now we are going to learn about gorillas. Yeah, gorillas are awesome. And here is the first thing we are going to learn about gorillas. Gorillas are the largest apes in the world. That's right. They are truly massive. Gorillas can weigh as many as 430 pounds. Hey, do you know where gorillas live? Where in the world are gorillas from? Gorillas are from the continent of Africa. Gorillas live in a part of Africa called Sub-Saharan Africa. You might be wondering, well, what is Sub-Saharan Africa? Well, the northern part of Africa is made up of something called the Sahara. It is a famous desert, often called the Great Desert. It is one of the largest deserts in the world. It is so huge that it is similar to the size of the entire United States. Sub-Saharan Africa is the area of Africa south of the Sahara. That is where gorillas live. Gorillas live in the forests of Africa. Some live in the tropical forests of sub-Saharan Africa, while others live in the subtropical forests. So if anyone asks you where gorillas live, first of all, ask them, hey, are you a fan of gorillas? Do you think they're pretty cool? And then let them know that gorillas live in the forests of sub-Saharan Africa. Oh, wow. Okay, here is a really interesting fact about gorillas. Just like humans, baby gorillas are called infants. That's right. Oh, so cute. Sweet little infants. These infants are super cute, and unlike human babies, they don't wear diapers, okay? They don't. And if they did, I wouldn't want to change them, okay? Woo! Woo! Wow. Okay. Infants are cared for by their mothers. The mother is the main caregiver in the infant's life. The main role of the father is to protect the mother and the infant. Hey, this is pretty cool. Gorillas live in groups called troops. Isn't that interesting? A group of gorillas is called a troop. Troops are normally led by a gorilla called a silverback. A silverback is a mature male gorilla. When male gorillas get older, some of the hair on their back turns the color silver. Usually a troop is led by one silverback, and the rest of the troop is made up of female gorillas and their children. There are examples of troops that have more than one silverback, but that is more rare. Typically, there is one silverback gorilla that leads the troop and protects the female gorillas and the children. Silverbacks are willing to give up their lives for the troop and are very brave. Okay. Get ready for a shocking fact about gorillas, okay? It's gonna shock you. A fact so shocking you will have to share it with your friends and your family. Did you know gorillas don't usually drink water? That's right, gorillas don't usually drink water. Gorillas eat so much vegetation that is rich in water that they typically get all of the water they need from their food. Gorillas love eating plants and vegetation. When they eat plants in the morning, the plants have the morning dew on them, which brings even more water into their system. While gorillas have the ability to drink water and under some circumstances will, they usually get all of their water from the vegetation they eat. Wow. So gorillas eat a lot of vegetation, they live in troops, they are the largest apes in the world, and they live in sub-Saharan Africa. Alright, now let's talk about how gorillas get from place to place. They walk in a very special way. Gorillas walk on their knuckles. It's called knuckle walking. Have you ever walked using your knuckles? It hurts after a while, doesn't it? It doesn't happen often, but gorillas sometimes walk on their 2 feet like we do if they need to carry something or are in a situation where they feel threatened. Otherwise, they walk on their knuckles. Gorillas are known for how they walk, but they are also known for how smart they are. Gorillas are such intelligent animals. They can create and use their own tools. They are able to think about the past and the future and have shown an ability to learn and to use sign language. Perhaps the most famous gorilla ever was a gorilla named Coco. She recognized about 2,000 English words and used sign language incredibly well. She died in June 2018, just 2 months before we made this video. Not only did she teach us a lot about gorillas, but she made lasting friendships with those who worked with her. She was an amazing gorilla. Part of what makes gorillas so special to work with is not just their incredible intelligence, but also their emotions. Gorillas laugh and cry just like we do. They form special bonds with family, and they care deeply about family and friends. Gorillas are awesome. Unfortunately, gorillas are critically endangered and have to be protected. There are laws that protect gorillas, and many organizations that work day in and day out to make sure gorilla populations stay healthy and strong. We hope you're having fun learning with us. Next, we are learning about polar bears. Cool! Polar bears are huge bears that love the cold. They love the cold. They live inside an area of the globe called the Arctic Circle. You can see it right here on this map. If you were to look straight down at a globe, that area at the very top is the area of the globe in the Arctic Circle. Now, this is interesting. Only about 4 million people live within the Arctic Circle. It can be a difficult place to live because it's so incredibly cold. But it is the perfect place for polar bears. Polar bears love the cold, which is why the Arctic Circle is the perfect home for these amazing bears. Oh, look at these two polar bears. They're friends. They're friends. Just play nice. Play nice, polar bears. You may know this already, but polar bears don't just live in the Arctic Circle. There are polar bears that live in other parts of the world in captivity. That means they live in places like the zoo, habitats that human beings create. We are going to share more about this later in this video. For now, we need your help with an easy question. Can you help us? What color are polar bears? Yeah, what color are they? Uh-huh. Yeah, they're the color white. They're the color white. Now, we have another question for you. What color is their fur? Did you guess white? A lot of people think that polar bear fur is white because that is what it looks like to us. But polar bear fur isn't white, it is clear. Polar bear fur is actually clear, that's right. So why does polar bear fur look white to us? Because not only is polar bear fur clear, it is translucent. Wow, what a word. Translucent. Can you say translucent? Impress somebody today and say, polar bear fur is translucent. What does translucent mean? Well, translucent means light can pass through it. Light passes through the polar bear fur. How cool is that? Isn't that incredible? Light passes through the fur, and the fur reflects the light. A polar bear's fur always reflects the light, which is why their fur looks white. That is why a polar bear looks white. Why it's a white bear, because the light is passing through the fur, and the fur is reflecting the light. Pretty cool. Earlier, we said that polar bears are huge, but just how huge are they? Let's put it this way. Polar bears are the largest land carnivores in the world. That's right. Polar bears are the largest land carnivores in the world. A carnivore is an animal that eats meat. Male polar bears can weigh up to 1,500 pounds. Female polar bears can weigh as many as 1,000 pounds. Polar bears are tall, too. Polar bears can be as tall as 10 feet. 10 feet! Polar bears are massive. No wonder they are the largest land carnivores in the world. Part of what makes them so big is their eating habits. Their favorite food is seal meat. They love eating seals. Polar bears love eating seals. They can also eat walruses, beluga whales, or any other meat they can find. Look at these poor little seals just relaxing. Don't you realize a polar bear can come and eat you up? You look like a snack. It looks like you're even on a plate. Look out, seals. Whew, that was a close one. But let's switch the subject. Let's talk about polar bear babies. Just like other baby bears, baby polar bears are called cubs. Aren't they cute? These two cubs are playing. They're so playful. Cubs start out only weighing a pound or two, but they grow quickly. This is pretty cool. Mama polar bears teach cubs their way of life and how to survive. Tips on how to eat as many seals as you can. There were a lot of them just kind of hanging out earlier. You should go check those, seals out, They also teach their cubs one of a polar bear's favorite activities, swimming! This is so awesome. You may not realize this, but polar bears are amazing swimmers. They're great at swimming. They can swim for miles and miles, and they not only swim to get from here to there, but they also swim to relax, to cool down. It's amazing. They're great swimmers. It's official. Polar bears are super cool. They are super cool. Check this out. We learned that polar bears are the largest land carnivores in the world. They are huge. They live in the Arctic Circle, which is perfect because they love the cold. We learned they have translucent fur, this amazing fur that allows light to pass through it, and it reflects that light, and that's why they look white. That's why they look like white bears. We learned polar bears love to eat seals. Look out, seals. You look like a polar bear snack. You look like a polar bear snack. And we learned they are great swimmers. They can swim for miles and miles, not just to get from here to there, but they really enjoy it. Sometimes they swim just to cool down and relax. Okay, we have one last fact. This fact is really important. Polar bears are considered a threatened species. Rising global temperatures have caused a decline in the polar bear's natural habitat in the Arctic. We mentioned earlier that polar bears live in captivity in different parts of the world in places like zoos. But life in captivity isn't the same as life in the wild. The awesome thing is that there are organizations that are working to protect polar bears. We want these amazing animals to live happy, healthy lives in their Arctic home. Finally, we are going to learn about jaguars. Whoa, jaguars. Are you ready? All right, let's begin. So, what are jaguars? Well, jaguars are wildcats that live in the Americas. Now, you might be wondering, where in the Americas do jaguars live? That's a good question. Well, jaguars live in the southwestern United States, Central America, and South America. Seeing jaguars in the southwestern United States is rare, but it does happen. Jaguars have been seen in California, Arizona, and Texas, but most jaguars live in Central and South America. One of the things that jaguars are famous for is their size. That's right. Jaguars are the largest cats in North and South America. They are huge. Jaguars can weigh over 300 pounds. That's right. A lot of their weight is muscle. These are really strong cats. Hey, they even have more muscles than you, Billy. For example, the muscles in their jaw are so powerful they can bite through a skull. That's right. They have one of the most powerful bites in the cat world. Their jaws are strong enough to drag as many as 800 pounds across the ground. That's so strong. Wow. Next, we are going to talk about what jaguars look like, besides just cool. They do look cool. Don't be jealous, Mr. Whiskers, okay? You look cool too. Most jaguars have a coat that looks like a blend between orange and yellow with lots of spots. Spots near the neck and head are solid. The rest of the spots are generally more colorful with brown inside. You might have realized this already, but jaguars look very similar to leopards. It can be hard to tell the difference between the two. A lot of people don't know the difference between the two, but not you. We are going to share an easy way to tell a jaguar from a leopard. It's all about the spots. The spots on jaguars and leopards are called rosettes. That's right, rosettes. That's an interesting name, isn't it? They are called rosettes because they are shaped like roses. That makes sense. So, what is the easy way you can tell the difference between jaguars and leopards? Well, jaguars have much bigger rosettes. Not only that, but the rosettes have black dots in them. Leopards have many more rosettes than jaguars, but they are much smaller and do not have the dots inside of them. There's also a size difference. Jaguars are much bigger and stronger than leopards. There are other differences too, but those are the main ones. So the easiest way to spot the difference between a jaguar and a leopard is looking at their rosettes. But why do they even have rosettes? What's the purpose? Well, rosettes are found on other types of cats as well, not just jaguars and leopards, but why do they have them? That's a great question. Well, rosettes are important because they help a cat camouflage. Part of what makes jaguars so tricky to find in the wild is the fact that they have these huge rosettes on their coats. We just finished talking about what jaguars look like, and while most jaguars look like that, some jaguars don't. There are jaguars that actually have a black coat. That's right. They have rosettes too, but it is usually really hard to see them. These jaguars are called melanistic jaguars. Melanistic jaguars. Can you say that? Yeah, melanistic jaguars. It means they have a dark-colored coat. There is a different name that most people call melanistic jaguars. What do you think that is? Yeah, melanistic jaguars are usually called black panthers. Black panthers found in Central and South America are melanistic jaguars. Black panthers that live in Africa and Asia are actually melanistic leopards. Black panthers are not their own species. Black panthers are either leopards or jaguars. These black jaguars, commonly called black panthers, do very well in the wild. They use their black coats to their advantage by hunting at night. It is very difficult to see a black panther while it is hunting. If you want to impress someone, the next time you hear about black panthers, just let them know. Black panthers that live in Central and South America are actually melanistic jaguars. If they don't believe you, you can invite them to look it up, and they'll be like, "What? Are you an animal expert?" The next thing we want to learn about are jaguar babies. Yeah, so cute. Jaguar babies are called cubs. That's right. Cubs are born blind and can't see until they are 2 weeks old. Jaguar cubs stay in the same den that they were born in until they are about 6 months old. Then a jaguar cub is ready to go hunting with mommy. Once jaguars are fully grown, they are usually very solitary. They like to hunt and do things on their own. Jaguars are hunters through and through. They not only hunt on land, but can hunt in the water too. They are great swimmers. Whatever they catch doesn't have much of a chance. Remember what we shared about the jaw of a jaguar? It can bite through a skull. The final fact we are going to talk about is sad. The jaguar population has been declining, and jaguars are now considered nearly threatened. Like many other animals around the world, jaguars have suffered because of deforestation. Jaguars are also hunted by people, a problem that has been difficult to stop. If the jaguar population isn't protected, they might become a threatened species. We hope you've enjoyed learning about animals around the world with us. Protecting animals like the ones you learned about is so important. These animals truly are amazing. Special thanks to our patrons who make videos like this possible. If you would like to support us and get cool Homeschool Pop tattoos, click the link below this video or visit homeschoolpop.com. As always, you are awesome. We hope to see you next video.